If you are listening to this podcast, chances are it's because you want to make more money and specifically more profit in your business. If so, you are going to love today's episode of the podcast because I am chatting to you about how you can use AI or artificial intelligence to grow that bottom line. Today, we are tackling the exciting topic of artificial intelligence, or AI, and its immense potential to boost your bottom line in 2024. We're venturing solo today, so buckle up as we explore the different ways AI can transform your business and unlock new pathways to profitability. Okay, get this. AI actually wrote that intro for me. Yep. AI isn't some futuristic thing that's somewhere in the distant future. It is here and now. And I am using it regularly in my business already, and many business owners are. In today's episode, we're going to chat about how you can use AI in your business, some things to avoid or be aware of, some ways that AI is already being used around you that you might not have even noticed, and how specifically AI can help you to make more profit, and where you can get started using AI in your business if you haven't sort of dipped your toe in yet. So, what exactly is AI or artificial intelligence? Well, basically, it is algorithms. It's the computer's learning patterns, and they are able to replicate them at scale and at a speed which is exceeding human capabilities. If you think about it, even from when I was younger, computers are now an integral part of the way that we work and the way that we function in the world. And AI is just the next extension of how computers are integrating with the way that we are going to operate into the future. The cool thing about AI is that it's not just the program that is input. AI is actually programmed to get more intelligence, to recognize patterns, to do things faster, and to learn. And while this can be kind of scary if you start to think about it too much, it can also be pretty exciting when you think about it, because this isn't just going to output the direct things that it input into it. AI can actually start to think on its own, start to notice patterns, and start to look for more patterns, which is pretty cool. Now, I bet there are already multiple ways that AI is integrated into your business and life already. Some examples: if you have a phone and you say, "Hey Siri," that is a form of AI. And if you've been using your Siri for a while, you will know that it gets better and smarter over time at knowing what you're asking for. The more that you interact with it, the more it starts to understand your accent, your tonality, the way that you ask things, and it spits out the output that you are asking for. You may also have an Alexa or a Google Home in your house, which again, the more that you use it, the more it is able to predict what specifically it is that you are asking for. AI is also commonly used in banking, in programs like platforms like Amazon. So for example, if you go and buy a book like mine, Amazon might suggest, hey, if you really enjoyed that book, you might really enjoy this book, Intentional Profit by Clare. Programs, platforms are trying to deliver a more premium experience for their clients. And therefore, what they're wanting to do is give them more of what they like. Another example of this is algorithms in social media. So AI is trying to predict, okay, Claire's watching a lot of this. Let's give her more of that. It's really trying to keep you on the platform longer. It's designed to make clients happy. And so that's why social media is so addictive, because the algorithm is constantly trying to think, what is the next thing that you might want to see? What are you enjoying? What's going to keep you on this platform for longer? So AI is already all around us. So let's talk about some ways that you might be able to use AI in your business. At the moment, the way that I'm using AI is for things like ideas and rapid content creation. So, for example, when I was preparing this podcast episode, I went and asked it, what are some ways that businesses can use AI to create more profit? You can actually go and ask a program or a platform to actually write an entire podcast episode or blog post or even a book. I am going to share a couple of words of warning about this later, but that is how at the moment I am using it. I'm mainly getting ideas and inspiration. I am not just saying, go and write a podcast episode and coming here and repeating it. I don't know if you noticed in the intro, maybe it sounded pretty seamless because you weren't listening for it. But if you go back and have a listen to the intro, the episode, you might notice that it didn't quite sound 100% like me. What are some of the AI platforms that I'm using right now? Well, you may have heard of ChatGPT. And another platform that I've also recently started using is Gemini, which is Google's AI platform. It's funny because I know they are computer programs, but I'm already noticing a little difference in, I don't know if this is right, but their personalities. So I kind of find that Gemini, the Google one, tends to have a bit of a wittier, particularly if you ask it to provide something with some comedic value. It tends to have a few more quips and a bit more of an edge to it. Whereas I find ChatGPT is a little bit more, what's the right word I'm looking for? It's just not as creative or edgy, perhaps. But again, you need to play around with these platforms. And again, the thing that I imagine will happen over time is that the more and more that we use them, the more they will learn the way that we like to word things. Our tonality, our tone of voice, this is literally what these platforms are designed to do. So at the moment, I am primarily using them for ideas, inspo. Hey, give me a suggestion of how I could reword my Instagram bio, for example. Off the back of that, let me share how not to be using AI. Firstly, do not blindly use AI. For example, as I mentioned before, go and write me a social media caption. I would not be just grabbing content that's created off one of these platforms and sticking it out there. And what's the reason for that? Because it's generated by a computer, it is going to lack your personality, your thought leadership. The very reason that people come to you or your brand is because of the uniqueness that is represented through all of your history, your stories, your thought leadership. So while it's great to get some inspo, I personally would not be recommending that you just pick up and blindly post the stuff that it gets spit out of your AI tools. Now, that leads me into a couple of warnings about using AI. Before we will get into the profit side, don't worry, but a couple of warnings that I do want to share. I have seen some platforms that have asked me to go and upload all of my, my blog posts, all of my IP. I'm at this stage very reluctant to do that, even though I know that it would vastly improve the AI platform's capability of reproducing my tone of voice. At this stage, I'm a little bit still hesitant to put all of my intellectual property into a platform that I don't know where they're going to store it, how they're going to use it. And so it's just something to be kind of mindful of when you are wanting to protect your intellectual property, your own assets inside your business. Just be careful about uploading it onto a free platform, because at this stage, we don't know how this is all going to be used. Another thing to bear in mind, AI will still make mistakes. So don't blindly grab information and go and share it out there with the world without doing some fact or sense checking first. Something else to bear in mind, the way that the computer programs work, they are looking for patterns. They may have a tendency to be trained or biased based on the data that they are being fed, just like humans. So let's take the example of, the Instagram algorithm. I go through phases, I'm going to be honest, where I'm searching a bunch of celebrity crap. I can end up down rabbit warrens trying to figure out who Sydney Sweeney is dating at the moment. And so because I'm looking at all of this celebrity nonsense, the algorithm's like, hey, she's enjoying that. So it will feed me more of that kind of information. What this means is that you are not getting a balanced view. So for example, I'm not getting a balanced view of what is going on in the world right now if at that point in time I'm getting fed a ton of crap, celebrity gossip, right? So the same thing will happen with your algorithm. If you are Googling or searching certain things again and again, what will happen is that the algorithm will start to go, hey, they really enjoy when I give them, for example, the negative perspective on that. So let's feed them more of that. They seem to really like that. That's the kind of thing that they seem to be enjoying. So I'm going to feed them more of that. Does that make sense? So just be mindful that the platforms, the computer programs are looking for patterns. And if they are sensing that you have a leniency towards a particular type of content or a particular way that it's presented, you're going to get more of that. And this is, again, why things like social media can be so scary, because the power they have to influence our minds, the power it has to say, hey, you're going down this rabbit warren, I'll give you more of that kind of content. So as you're using AI as a tool, as a platform for information in your own business, be aware of that potential bias in the content that might be getting produced out of the platform. Okay, the next thing, I don't know if this is a word of warning, it's just something to be mindful of. Something you will learn when you start using AI regularly is how bad you are at giving directions. So you need to ask good questions to get good answers. And it's been a really interesting experience for me as a manager and a leader in my business. I'm quite a high level person. I'm not really much of a micromanager. And so one of the things that I might come to, ChatGPT or Gemini and say is, write me a social media caption around why you need finances. See how that's quite vague. And so what it would spit back is a 2-sentence post, which if you follow me on social media, you will know I am a huge fan of long form captions. So a 2-sentence post just isn't going to fly for me. And the what might get spit out is actually about personal finances. It might be like why you need to be across your personal finances, not your business finances, which is my jam or my niche. And the more that you use it, the more you realize how vague you might give instructions. And it's actually really cool to start to really be able to be a master at giving a lot clearer directions. Can you please produce 20 bullet points around this particular topic, and getting really, really specific about the way that you are asking it? The final word of warning, and I kind of alluded to this before, but bear in mind that if you are just picking up what gets spit out of an artificial intelligence program, it is going to lack originality. This is why I said content or concepts that are getting created inside AI do not replace thought leadership. You do not want to end up sounding like everyone else out there, or you will no longer stand out from the crowd. So I truly believe that while it has its place, it really cannot replace the human experience. Alrighty, I've gone on and had a bit of a rant about a few different topics in the area of AI, but let me specifically talk about ways that AI can help you to make more profit in your business. Well, firstly, AI can help you with decision making. When you think about it, a computer can rapidly analyze vast amounts of data. For example, pricing, consumer trends. It can go out there and process information at a speed far greater than our human brains can. So if you're looking to make a decision, you can use the power of computer programs, of AI, to help you to make better decisions. And better decisions means more profit. You can also use chatbots, which again are an AI platform. So one of the ways that I'm using a form of chatbot is ManyChat. So on Instagram, you might have seen, maybe you didn't even know that this was an AI tool. But inside Instagram, I might say, comment profit on this post, and I'll send you a link to join my latest training. And then what happens is the bot looks for the word or a variation of the word, and it will then automatically send a DM with a link to go and join. And some other business owners I've seen, I'm not quite as sophisticated yet, but they have whole funnels where they then ask further questions. They then might send a follow-up saying, hey, I sent you the link. Did you go and join? It can actually start to get smarter and interact so that people are having a more personalized experience with your brand, which of course is firstly saving you time and potentially saving you, team costs and things like that, which is more profit. And also by boosting your sales conversions. If you are able to get more eyeballs on your brand, if you are able to get more people into your email list, to your training, that is going to help you to grow your sales. And similarly, boosting the actual conversion rate by producing a more personalized experience for your potential clients. Another way that AI can help you to boost your profits is that you can have a computer going back to potential clients, thereby producing 24/7 customer support. So you might have only, well, obviously we have to sleep. You might have only been online for so many hours a day. And similarly with your team, depending on the size of your team, you might not have been able to provide around-the-clock support. Whereas if you've got a chatbot, they can go back to clients at any time of the day or night, which obviously helps with globalization and reaching more clients across the world as well. All of these things can lead to reduced staff costs. An example of how I'm using this in my business, AI now transcribes my Zoom meetings. It is actually, as I speak, automatically transcribing this recording. So my assistant, Sally, used to transcribe all of my podcast episodes. And now she has, she obviously needs to look over what the platform is producing, but there is a good chunk of the transcription provided by AI, which obviously is one example of how using a tool like this can help reduce your staff costs. This is a bit of a left field idea, but another way that AI can help you to make more money is that you can make money by teaching other businesses how they can use AI and incorporate it into their own processes. There is a whole new industry in and of itself teaching other people about AI and creating automated tools within artificial intelligence. Some more ways that it's helping you. Increasing the speed with which you can produce content. I shared before. I come to AI and say, hey, give me some ideas about blah, blah, blah. It can also free up your time by automating some of the ways that you do things. Now, if you regularly use the same computer, you might notice that when you go into certain fields in online forms, it will automatically populate fields that it knows how you're going to populate. So for example, when I'm filling in forms, I am regularly writing in the first name field, Clare, and the last name field, Wood. And when I go into forms, a lot of the time, those fields are pre-populated for me. AI is going, how can I help her out? And again, this is a time-saving tool. Some more ways that you might be able to make more profit through using artificial intelligence. And this one is a biggie, but being able to analyze data, recognize patterns. And this can help you to create more profit by predicting future costs, by saying to you, my bank already does this. I get notifications saying, hey, your rates is due soon. And inside your business finances, your AI tools might be able to help you to predict future upcoming costs, patterns that are happening inside your business. You may also be able to reduce fraud and reduce theft by, again, pattern recognition, by programs looking and saying, hey, that's a little bit unusual. That's not the usual way that you might earn an income or spend money. Is this right? And again, I already know that my banks do this because often I'll get notifications. It's a bit unusual that you've bought something in Los Angeles. I was just recently in LA, but I did get a notification saying, hey, is this a legitimate transaction? Because that's quite unusual for you. So again, avoiding theft, avoiding fraud is another really amazing potential benefit of AI. Look, these are just a couple of examples. And, realistically, I'm pretty new to this world myself, but I am already getting super excited and inspired about the potential that exists for us as business owners, both in creating ease and flow, but particularly in adding more profit into your business. So if you're liking the sound of all of this and you're wondering, how do I get started? My tip would be this. Just start to play around with it. Start small. Make some mistakes like I did. And you'll learn how to use these tools. You will learn their limitations, and you'll also learn their incredible potential. Another big thing, of course, making sure that you are getting a balanced view as you are going in. Beware of the warning. Beware of those potential dangers or risks of using AI. as you are going on your own exploration or adventure. We've covered a lot of ground today. This has been a really long, unintentionally long podcast episode for me, but I felt there was a lot that I wanted to share on this topic, and I hope that you have found it helpful and it's giving you some food for thought in terms of how you can use AI to grow your business profit. As I mentioned at the start, if profit is your thing, I really would love to invite you to come along to my free masterclass that is happening tomorrow. It is called 4 Steps to Grow Your Profit. It is a live training with me, and inside I'll teach you the number one thing that will grow your profit by 20%, 3 strategies guaranteed to make more sales, the tool that will ensure you get a 3x return on your next business investment, and the easy to use method that will increase your funds in just 15 minutes a week. Join the training via the link in the show notes for today's episode. I'd love to see you inside that training. And if you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Drop me a DM, or even better, share it with your audience on social media and get them having a bit of a think about the power of AI and particularly how it can help you make more profit.